welcome to Purl Perspectives.
Pew, pew, pew.
My name is Allie.
I'm Anahí.
And I'm Carine.
And we are three Purls who are friends and makers and Canadians and sometimes beachgoers and outdoor mostly enthusiasts as a concept. Anyway, speaking of the outdoors, it is summertime.
Frickin' finally.
Yes.
I mean, unless you have allergies like myself, in which case, I feel for you. But today we're coming at you with something a little bit different from our entirely unstructured live streams. And we're giving you a slightly, mostly structured episode where we talk about our summer making plans. So we'll do a round of what we're working on, a round of what we're planning, a round of what we're working on, and finally, a round of what we're planning for the summer. Will we make these things? Who knows? We'll see. We'll find out at the end of the summer if we did in fact follow these plans. Who knows? Who knows? Who'd like to go first with their first whip?
All right, I'll go first.
You.
So I'm working on the plumeria from Wool and Pine. So I'm at the lace portion. This is actually a summer top. So here to show what it's supposed to look like when it's kind of structured.
Beautiful.
So it's obviously these are gonna be longer here. So you pick them up afterwards, and then the lace is at the bottom. So pray for me because that's what I'm working on while we're doing this talking. Yeah, and I'm very excited about this color because it's giving me summer and like beach vibes and going into the ocean and all that stuff. And
Is this wool?
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, it's wool and I think it's a combination of two. It is
Called Bahamas.
nylon. So merino, 80% merino and 20% nylon.
So it's a sock yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Fiberland, and I just want to. Can you guess the name of this color?
I want to guess. Transatlantic.
I think you remember saying it was like Bahama Mama
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
Bahamas.
Bahamas, yeah.
I was like, how fitting.
It's giving Caribbean. It's giving coral. It's giving ocean.
It's giving ocean for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm very excited with this. It's definitely not going to be something I'm not going to want to wear like when it's like over 30 degrees, but it's going to be a really nice fit.
You know what? I think in the winter too, it would also be so nice if you layered it over like a long sleeve turtleneck.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
Right? Or if you have like a longer dress that's like sleeved, you could wear it over top or even with jeans, but yeah.
True. Anything is,
Tell me about like the top. Is this gonna be like? Are you gonna connect the straps?
Yeah,
Or are these gonna be bows?
I think they're bows.
Okay.
But I'm pretty damn sure we tie them up. Yeah. See, you can see it here.
That's really cute.
I don't know if you can kind of see that it's a bow.
And I'm asking because
So you make them at the length that you want, essentially. And
I'm
then
asking because in the case that you want to wear it for the summer, but also like Ali said, in the winter, the bows are really gonna come in clutch because then that means that you can loosen the fit. So if you want to wear like a button up underneath or something like less fitted, you can still adjust the fit at the top.
And it would be really cool too because it's tied like that if you wanted to, instead of tying them over the shoulder, you could crisscross them in the back and have like a double bow in the back so that you don't have as much bulk here, so that you could wear a coat over top of it if you wanted to in the fall.
Yeah. I do really enjoy this pattern. It's written so well, in my opinion, because a lot of it is like you knit until the fit fits you, or you do the amount of repeats of the pattern until you feel like it's enough for you. So like same thing here, afterwards you'd add however long you want it. So this is just the starting point, and then you just add to the, so a lot of this is customizable, which I appreciate very, very much, because most of the time I tend to just follow what the pattern says, and it's kind of like making me have to like think a little bit more for myself and like actually pay attention to how it fits on me.
And you have to make decisions. Like the patterns making you make decisions, which we were even talking about not too long ago about the difference between modern patterns and vintage patterns, and how vintage patterns ask you to make decisions. And I love that you're kind of in this in-between spot now with this pattern. What's it called again? Plumeria.
Like the flower.
I love it.
It's very much like a structured recipe, is what it sounds like. How long do you plan to make it? Do you want to go like tunic length, or do you want to cut it off at like the hip?
I think just below the hip
Yeah.
is nice.
So not quite a dress.
Yeah.
But not more than a shirt.
Yes.
Nice.
Just you know, like just cover the top of the butt. just enough to cover the goods.
That would be really good as a beach cover-up. If you did that in like a cotton or a linen, I feel like, and then you could make it longer too if you wanted.
That's true.
As like a beach cover-up, and then you could like wear it to the buffet before going to the beach. But that's actually, maybe that'll have to get moved up my queue.
It is. I mean, there's probably a few pics on Ravelry for cover-ups like this, but like this one is definitely, it's been very enjoyable.
Nice.
If you wanted to flare it out at the bottom where the lace is, do you think that you'd be able to do that with this pattern?
Yes, you actually, they do it.
They do it? Okay.
So if you look at what like how it looks like, you'll see that it kind of does.
Oh, so you could actually just keep going with more lace repeats and get to that mini dress.
So it's a built-in A-line shaping. Yeah. That's
'Cause
really,
there's
you know what?
This part here, you repeat it. You're supposed to repeat it 3 times, but you can repeat it 10 times if you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can customize the length and the width of it, kind of. That's fun.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Okay, this is definitely moving up the queue.
I'm very impressed with it. Like I said, Wool and Pine right now is they're definitely they're doing it for me.
Their most recent patterned release,
the Sundial. It's I'm gonna talk about
we'll
that later.
We'll come up to the Sundial in a
talk
second.
Talk about it now.
Well, it's one of the plans that I have. So.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
All right, do it.
Because I want to know what the Sundial is.
So the Sundial is this pattern that's essentially perfect for a stash buster. So if you want to, and it doesn't need a lot of grams per color, which is beautiful. So if you have like minis or leftover yarn from a project, it's perfect. And I literally have this ball of minis and leftovers that I'm like, I don't know what colors to do yet. So, yeah.
Show the pictures up.
Okay, I'm gonna flash Ravelry, but it's the photo zoomed in, so hopefully this is not gonna cause any. Hold on. Let me get closer to the camera, and don't worry, we'll link it down below.
That is gorge.
Right? Look at this. Like, it's just...
Can you even? Hold on, let me find another one.
I actually
obsessed.
can't.
Like
The other one is like earth toned. It's so beautiful.
Look at this.
Whoa.
Look at this.
I'm obsessed.
I love that.
So essentially I brought all of the like minis that I have that kind of like fit the bill in terms of how much color I have and everything, and I just need help figure out which colors I need to.
It's not going to be hard to help you, Carine, because you have such a definite palette.
Yeah.
Color palette.
I can tell you that,
like, look at this.
I can tell you that I do kind of like these two together for some reason, and I do have a lot of those. So
I know the reason. They're opposite on the color wheel.
They are.
Exactly, and they work so well together.
Yeah.
So I feel like one of them could be like because there is kind of a main color. It's more like the contour area color. So one of them could be that, and the other one would be maybe a repeat twice or something. But then it's everything else I don't know.
Here's my first question. Are all of these minis the same fiber content?
No idea.
Okay. I ask because it's happened to me before where I've made a scrappy project and the contents of the fibers have not been the same. And when you wear it or block it out, some parts of it flare out and some parts of it don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, some, like, food for thought. I don't know.
This is Ali Carte yarn, and this is botanical yarns.
So
botanical
my
yarns. Yeah.
So is this one.
Yeah. My guess, based on your purchasing habits, is that you're going to have had a lot of... They'll be almost entirely all merino nylon blends. That's my guess based on your previous purchasing habits. So I think the likelihood of you having really big structural issues in terms of fit won't be that bad, because it'll probably just be like, oh, maybe one's a 25-75, the other one's an 80-20. Maybe you have one that's like 100% merino. But I feel like it's, let me just take a moment and say this is an excellent reason to put all your yarn in Ravelry. Mm-hmm. Document that shit, fam.
Or at least document it somewhere.
Yeah, seriously.
Just a momentary lapse to say. But this is your color palette is incredibly cohesive.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll be very hard. You could, honestly, I feel like you could just stick your hand in the bag and knit with the next one, and whatever you come up with would be amazing.
Look at that. The only outlier, I will say, is the very warm orange.
Yeah, I feel like that one doesn't really fit in there.
Oh,
But you've got right here,
yeah,
like those two together go really nicely. With the green, really nice. But if we were to leave this green out and focus in on just the blues and the purples, that would be an excellent color palette. If you had more warms, this could, like, do you see this?
If you put in the purples and the cream and you don't add the blue, that also incredibly cohesive as a color palette.
Look at that.
This together?
Yes, because this is a warm palette altogether, right? The blues cool everything down.
Okay. Well, I don't really care about the blues. Okay. That's not true. I love blue.
Well, the thing is, everything that has a blue undertone or like sub color there is gonna read cool, and whatever has a redder, yellower undertone is gonna read warm. So this side, pretty freaking warm. You know, like, look at that. Pretty nice. When you add these two, it kind of starts spreading out a little bit more. Do you see that?
Yeah.
But in that case, you could then start putting the cold ones, or the blues, the cooler colors on this side.
After the beige.
And then you end up with a warm to cool fade.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh. So wait, like
So you start with the purple-ish.
You'll hold these.
Yeah, you start with the purples. Then you move into these warmer summery colors.
Yeah.
Then you have these lighter ones.
So these would
here.
be like at the end.
Yeah.
And then you end up with the blues at the bottom.
Like,
I don't even need the blues because I only need.
Look at them.
It's 6 to 8.
So
colors.
like if we hold them together, like this already is a beautiful palette.
Yeah.
Like, see how we have like brighter blue to dull blue to a cream and then a yellow, and this last yellow that this will go really nicely onto, like, it'll either move into the purple or it'll move into the, I was thinking like the ochre yellow.
Yeah.
And from ochre yellow to orange.
Yeah. I would omit one of these two just for...
Because they're so close together.
Yeah, just for contrast purposes.
Because I also feel these two are too similar.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them next to each other.
Because they're not going to read any different.
No. Or, like, just put something else in between them.
Yeah.
So that you end up with that beautiful... But the trick... Here's a good trick. Take a photo of all of your yarn laid out in the order you want in black and white.
Yeah.
And then you can see the contrast. So if it reads in black and white as almost the same color, that's a low contrast.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful, but doesn't work for the mosaic knitting that you want to do in this pattern. You want two colors that are going to show really high contrast when you take that black and white photo.
The other thing that you have here is that you have a lot of lights and a lot of darks.
Yeah.
So what you could do is like take your lights and take your darks separately, like these, maybe this guy can be one of your darks, and you can alternate a light and a dark, a light and a dark, a light and a dark, right? So like you can start with this cream and go for the yellow. And then you add the peach and go for the orange. Do you see where I'm going? And then after the orange, you can do the pink. And after the pink, you can do the purple. See? And like that already gives you a cohesive
you can kind of see
contrast.
Yeah.
And I think contrast is what you want for the sundial, because if I remember correctly from what you showed, there's a lot of like detail color work.
Yeah.
It's mosaic knitting, I believe.
It's mosaic knitting.
Yeah, so this is one here.
So you want the two colors that are going together in the same section to be really contrasting. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the texture is not going to show.
But you see there's like the top part and the bottom, like it's framed in.
But that feeds into that first color there too, right? So this first one, I encourage you to go look at the photos on, if not Ravelry, on Wool and Pine's website. This first photo has them fading one color into the next band of mosaic. But the other one, if I remember correctly, I think... Oh, no, I lied. I was wrong. But you could also do that each band of, like, the mosaic is 2 colors, and then you switch. So instead of doing, like, the cream and the brown, cream and the gray and the gold, you know, like how you're carrying one over.
So you switch both colors.
You switch both. If you wanted to put that whole palette in there, you could switch both, and then you'd also be able to get more colors out of your stash.
Yeah.
Or like more stash colors into your thing.
Because what they're doing right there is they're starting with 2 colors, and then they drop one and they add another one.
Yeah.
And then they drop one and they add another one.
Yeah.
And they drop one and they add another one. And they drop one and they add another one. And so if you organize these same colors into that light, dark, it's gonna work out. But you could also say, like, I want the 2 purples together and I want the 2 blues together. So when it comes time for you to switch colors, you switch both instead of just one.
I gotta show you this tester.
Oh,
I gotta get close to the camera again. So it looks like what this tester has done is carried one color through and then has changed the second one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of nice too,
It's the cream, right?
Yeah, it looks like the cream is carried all the way through, but the blues have changed. Imagine doing this with a color-changing ball of yarn.
Oh. And then you wouldn't even... Well, it wouldn't be a stash buster, that.
Well, unless you have, like, what... Okay, so I wish I was...
Unless you're trying to bust a ball of color-changing yarn that you haven't found a project for.
But if you had a whole bunch of bits and bobs
of
color-changing yarn, like if you, as a Canadian, the cost of shipping from the US, the cost of the exchange rate, but if I was privileged enough to have a large collection of spin cycle yarns, and I have all those bits and bobs left over, with a solid neutral as the contrast color,
Yeah.
I have to say, I love this plan for you, Carine. This is kind of totally your style. Yeah. I really see how you, like...
Oh, here you go.
Wool and Pine is really doing it for you.
Cool into warm into cool again.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh, just go explore the project on Ravelry.
We're not going to try to show the screen.
Just gorgeous.
I love it. I think you don't need to change anything. I think you've already got a good palette here. It's just the order that you're going to have to play around with.
And there's no color in there that you're like, no, don't put that one in.
No, not really. The only one that I was a little nervous about was the orange.
This guy, yeah.
But if you put it next to the green and the cream or the peach, it's going to work out beautifully. I will agree with Allie that you have 2 very similar purples.
Yeah, I probably would drop.
So either spread them apart so that they're not next to each other.
Because I couldn't make the purple, so that's my question. Those 2, because
or just drop one.
Because this is the one, these are the 2 I have the most of. I was thinking one of these 2 could be like the contour one. I just don't know which one. I'm assuming.
If I had to pick, I would pick the green one for the outline.
I was going to say the purple.
Really?
I was going to say the
purple.
Okay,
that's a 50-50 chance.
But because the palette of minis that you have with the green feels more cohesive and a purple feels like a pop to it, right?
Like a contrast.
Like a contrast
So you mean this fits well in here?
Yeah, in all of there, and then this would be your shoulder and your hems, and then this would be that purple pop that would really frame everything.
Depending on where I put, if this is the top, I could still put this one in the middle.
Yeah, totally. You get to do whatever you want, babe.
You get to do whatever you want.
This is your circus.
Like, I'm supposed to only have like 8. I think it's 8 colors.
Use
I think
as
I'm gonna
many
have
as you
more.
want.
'Whatever.
Like, I'm gonna have 9 at least, and that's if I don't use any of the blue.
Yeah.
But I kind of like these. Like,
they already worked really well together. I'm surprised you didn't buy them as a pack.
Yeah.
Well, some of them did come together. Like,
As
I think
a set?
these 3 were together.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
But this is actually from this is the same fiber as this one because it's also from
Alpaca yarns?
No, it's from Botanical Yarns because it was the set, the sock set, and I used the big instead of because it was like the
you didn't make socks
big
out of
skein.
them.
Exactly, I used them for a project instead, another project instead. Sacrilege, I know.
Never. Use your sock skeins however you want. However you want.
And if you really think about it, if you buy a sock set and don't use the contrast color, it's like you bought a skein of yarn and got a bonus mini.
I have
As a
100% purchased a sock set specifically for the mini and still have the main skein hanging out in the stash. 100% I've done
do
it.
what you want.
It's your yarn. It's your hoard. You are the dragon sitting on top of the hoard. You get to do whatever you want with that hoard.
Stop. If you were
Wait a
a dragon, what color would you be?
Gold. Come on.
If you were a dragon, what color would you be?
Deep blue.
That's the evil one.
I
What?
love
Where? Tell that to Scale. Just saying. She would have words with you.
I mean, she is pretty vindictive.
She
I
is.
love her,
But for all of you fellow Fourth Wing readers out there with me, would agree that Scale is not an evil dragon. Therefore, blue dragons can't all be evil.
No, 100%.
I would be a green dragon. Just saying.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragon with earth powers?
Yeah. It'd be like the classic
Yeah.
dragon is green.
What color was Smaug? He was red?
Smaug
Wasn't he
red?
like
Reddy orange?
Red and black?
I think
'Cause,
it was like red, but like a dark red.
His whole, I'm taking over the mountain to put all my hoard in here. Like, I vibe with that.
Do you? Because that's a very colonial approach.
Oh. As
You know,
a
like-
double colonized minority, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, you can get in the comments if you want, but Smaug was a colonizer.
You know what?
So
You're
in
right. I take it back.
It's deep red.
He was red.
Yeah, deep red.
I mean, I love Smaug.
Yeah.
No hate. I'm just saying.
I still stand by wanting, if not, okay, I would love to be a gold dragon because, like, they seem like the most mystical and, like, rare.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, how freaking badass would it be to be, like, a dark blue or a black where you could, like, fly around at night and be like, huzzah, surprise! Like, how great would that
That's
be?
why I
Yeah.
like the darker.
Yeah.
That's why I like the darker tones.
Yeah, because you can, like, stealth.
Yeah, stealth mode.
Okay, tangent over.
All right.
Shall
Well,
I
so
go?
yeah,
Should-
that was my plan.
That's it?
So I guess I guess we did whips and plans together.
Okay,
but-
we'll do a whip and a plan, a whip and a plan, a whip and a plan.
I'm so sorry. I was just really excited to see the sundial.
It's
I
a
had
great-
to press.
It's in my queue as well. Not for today, but it's in my queue as well.
I mean, look at it.
I'm sure a lot of you will also put it in your queue because it's beautiful. But I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna start with one of my current whips. Oops. I got myself at the Renaissance Fair.
A turkey leg?
Well, no. I got myself a handmade bottom whirl spindle and a pack of yarn. Well, not yarn. A pack of Cheviot hand-dyed wool from the Cheesemasters Cottage Fibre Arts.
So
That is literally
this
the
was at
greatest
the
name.
fair.
That was at the
For-
Renaissance Fair.
I gotta go to Renaissance fairs. This is where the shit's at.
Honestly, this
That's so
person
cool.
that I bought it from had so many good, like, small batch stuff in there. Very different kinds of whirls that she carves herself or sources herself. And I asked her, because I was there and I was like, she's probably just like making a buck at the Renaissance Fair. Because you know me. And I asked her, like, where's the wool coming from? And she was like, it's my neighbor's sheep. My neighbor has sheep, and they let me have the fleeces, and so I dye it and I card it. And so she dyes with both acid and natural dyes, and she cards it and spins it to sell hand-spun yarn, which was beautiful, but I didn't buy any. And she also commissions these spindles in multiple styles. She has top and bottom whirls. I love it. I've been spinning up a storm in this. I'm getting real good.
That's so fine.
I mean,
Like the width of the ply is
Yeah.
so fine.
This is like lace almost.
Well, yeah, like I think if I put it against the black of my
There you go,
shirt,
yeah.
you can see kind of
Because
the weight.
what are you aiming for when you ply it? First of all, how many plies are you aiming for? And
I'm
what
aiming
are
for
you
a, I'm aiming for a DK3 ply, so I'm probably going to chain ply. So when I hold it double,
Look at that perfect spin. There's no twist to it. There's no
when I
bend
hold
to
it double, this is like it double. It twists into like a sport weight, maybe
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that when I do the chain ply, this is going to become a DK. And I want to then work it up into a little tapestry to put up here in my gallery wall.
That's nice.
It's missing a little something.
I feel like the tapestry needs to be of cheese. Because, and we'll,
Look
don't
at that
worry,
color.
Yellow like cheese!
We'll put, she's got all of her socials on here, so we'll link it down below. But, I mean, it's from Cheesemasters Cottage Fibre Arts. Like,
And it's yellow.
and it's like a gold, it looks like a beautiful cheddar.
Yeah,
Like
it's a cheddar of Cheviot. North County Cheviot is the fleece the type of sheep that this fleece came from, and it's a really interesting wool, like I want to say stage or preparation that I'm working with this time, because when we learned to spin. They gave us something called combed top.
Yep.
Which is when all of the fibers are neatly brushed together and they're all going the same direction.
And
so you pull it.
It's like roving. It's really like a long string of it.
Yeah, and it's very smooth, very shiny. This is a carded wool, which means the fibers are not all going in the same direction. They're kind of going in, like if I spread it, you might be able to see.
Yeah. It's mostly the same direction,
It's
but not
mostly the same
entirely.
direction, but it's also kind of, I don't know. It has more of a rustic feel because it's not been brushed.
Yeah, like you could pull it apart sideways and you'd end up with distinctive clumps.
Exactly.
Versus comb topped where you can
see?
pull it apart, but it's easier to pull it lengthways.
Exactly.
So.
And I had never worked with carded wool before. I've only ever used comb top, and I'm finding it actually easier
Really?
because the fibers are already so sticky because they're going in different directions. So I'm not even trying hard at all to draft because these already kind of want to stick together. So I'm having a lot less trouble and I'm coming up with more stable woolen spun yarn. And the difference that I learned from someone else on YouTube was that when you spin woolen, it doesn't have the shine of the wool, and when you spin worsted, which is combed top, that's when you get super smooth, solid, dense yarn.
Yeah, because you're pre-drafting, and then you're drafting again as you're spinning versus comb top, where it sounds like you're not pre-drafting at all.
I'm at pre-drafting a little bit,
Okay.
but when I do the spin and draft, the draft and spin, I'm putting like barely any effort into it because again the fibers are already kind of stuck together. So I really would recommend, if you're a beginner, that you try carded wool after having learned on comb top, because honestly I'm really enjoying it and I made a lot of progress in only a couple of hours. So I'm super excited about this.
Awesome.
I'm really having fun with spinning, and I know it's not knitting, but it is my whip.
And I distinctly remember that on the 5th or 6th time it took to start this episode that I said we'll be talking about our summer making plans, not our summer knitting plans.
True. I just want to point out, because the color is gold, hear me out, a little baby Andarna holding cheese.
Like you could crochet that up so fast. That'd be so cute.
Like a little tapestry of baby Andarna just like holding cheese.
And you could like felt in the cheese so that it's 3-dimensional.
That's so true. Okay, I gotta go back to the yarn store.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Such sacrifice.
I gotta pull out my
That's
spinning
my
again.
whip. Should I tell you about my first
Yeah.
plan?
What's
do
your
it.
first plan?
Okay. Both my plans, spoiler alert, are gonna be summer garments. But for the first one, I already have the right amount of yarn.
Okay.
And it is this Noble Cotton by Cascade Yarn in fabulous electric teal blue.
Ooh.
It is so good.
What are you gonna make with it so I can pull
So
up the photo?
soft. You know what? This is kind of heavy, so I'm not sure I'm going to go ahead with my original plan, but what I'm trying to make is a summer short sleeve love note. We all know and love the love note. I've made one version of it that was also a blue but 3/4 sleeves and woolen with mohair. I want to try to make this with this weight of yarn, which is I think a DK, if I'm not mistaken, with the same size needles to get a lacy, summery version of it with no sleeves.
Oh, that's gonna look so cute.
And if you're missing yarn, I have this exact one.
Really?
In a different color, but that would actually match with this. It's like a lighter version of this.
Oh, okay, yeah, that'd be great.
So you could always do the cuffs, the hem, the
in a little contrast.
I have a lot of it. I have like 4 skeins at least. I got it the second hand, and it's literally the same.
That's awesome. I'm quite enjoying Noble Cotton. Again, the feel of it is a little bit harsher than what I'm used to working with, but this also means that it's going to be a durable garment, and it's going to be really fresh for the summer. A lot of people on Ravelry...
Short sleeve version of it if it doesn't get blown out.
Oh, yeah, it's very bright.
I turn it sideways. I just don't really want to stand up. I'm very comfortable.
No, that's okay. A lot of people on the internet have made cotton versions or summer versions of the Love Note, and I myself have not tried it yet, so here we go. It's gonna happen. Wish me luck. I'm a slow procrastinator, so we'll see. But as soon as I finish anything, I'll be casting on the Love Note.
What if you tried to have it finished for Twist in August?
I mean, I would love to.
What if you tried to have something finished for Twist in
That
August?
I can do. Okay. That I can do. That I can do.
That's more realistic.
Fair enough.
Allie, what's on your needles?
What's on my needles? I would just like to say he's out of frame right now, but Bilbo's just on the other side of Carine, and he is so freaking cute.
Living his best
Fast
life.
asleep with his tongue out, and I just, I can't not. It's, anyway, so cute.
He's snoring away.
So cute.
Before the end of the episode, I'm gonna put a little B-roll of Bilbo sleeping.
Yeah, so which is the front, and this is the back, I think. So my first whip is another Tolsta tee.
Quelle surprise.
I'm obsessed with this. I think I was knitting on it last time we were here. I think I was. I'm obsessed. I actually am pretty much at the tail end of the first ball. I have the teeniest little nugget left, and then I have my second ball all wound up, so I'm ready to go. I love this. First of all, I love this pattern. The Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow. I've made one. I love it so much. Every time I wear it, I receive a lot of positive feedback. So it's very affirming in that way, I suppose you could say. I to my skills as a knitter and also my color choices, it's very nice to receive that positive feedback. So last year, after I finished, I think even before I finished my first one, I bought this yarn from Alley Cat Yarns. Melissa has the most beautiful silk yak base, and I splurged and I got 2 skeins in the fingering weight with the intention of making another Tolsta, and I love it. I love it so much. It's working up so nicely. The hand feel of the silk yak is so lovely. This is wound up in a ball, but it's still so smooth.
Yeah, this
is
is
just great, honestly.
The green in here, same.
Silk
same
yak,
base.
yeah. Well, I was inspired by your oolong tea that you made because I remember feeling it and being like, yeah. So of course I had to get some of my own. So this has been really my priority whip right now, to the consternation of the one I'm going to show later. I'm loving it, and I really want to have it done so that I can wear it this summer, because the last one I finished it, but then I didn't block it for ever, and then by the time I got around to blocking it, it was the middle of winter. Aww. And I was I can wear it, but it's kind of cropped, so I didn't really wear it all that much, and it was 7 or 8 months after I finished it before I actively started wearing it, and I was kicking myself because I'm this is great, I love this so much. So now I know this is a pattern I love. I have no doubt in my mind I'm going to make more in the future. I have already had several friends and family members be like, but me?
Me? But me?
So I wouldn't be surprised if I get not really coerced, but gently encouraged to make a family member one of these in the future. I love this pattern so much. So I'm just past the sleeve separation, and we're now onto the stockinette body, and then I just have to do the little tiny 5 rows of sleeve and then the ribbing. And
Oh, easy peasy.
it'll be done so fast. So
You're gonna be done before you know it.
I started this on a trip to the UK so that I could have some like mindless travel knitting, and it was the perfect project to bring. And now I'm in Stockinette City, so now it's the perfect thing to work on when I'm watching TV. This weekend, if you're watching this live, the Canadian Grand Prix just started. Get off YouTube, go watch the Grand Prix. It's in Montreal. What are you doing?
I'm knitting, I'm sorry. I don't have time.
I will also be knitting while watching the Grand Prix this weekend. Although it is Father's Day, and I do have to check in with my dad because he hasn't decided what he wants to do. I was like, Dad, what do you want to do for Father's Day? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, but like, let's make some plans. He's like, oh, we'll figure something out. And I was like, but let's make some plans, Dad.
If you are a father, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
If you are a person who is a father figure to another person, happy Father's Day.
And if you are solo parenting, happy Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Anyway,
And if you are a hoochie daddy, happy Father's Day.
we're looking at you, Pedro Pascal. We're looking at you. So yes, that's what I'll say about my Tolsta Tee. I'm sure it'll make another reappearance on the pod, either as a project or as a finished thing.
I have no doubt.
I do love this project quite deeply. So my first whip that I want to talk about.
She really whipped out the cone.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hold on. She likes big cones and you cannot lie. You others can deny. Okay, that's
when a
it.
girl walks in with an itty bitty hank and a round thing in your face, you get
Cold!
Oh my god, guys. Ooh, we need to get out more. We need more hobbies. Like truly, you know. So my mom is very knitworthy, and she sent me a message earlier this summer, and she did exactly what my sister did, and she sent me a photo of a screenshot of a movie or TV show or something. It was a very blurry image, zoomed in, and she was like, ooh, this is cute. And I was like, bet. And so I actually found a pattern that's very similar to the one she sent me. At least I think it is. I don't know. It was really pixelated. And I am planning to make the weekend tee. Yeah, the Weekday Tee. Sorry, the Weekday Tee by Aimee Sher.
Aimee Sher, we love her.
Ooh! So it's got the cutest little cable details right at the sleeve cap there. Ooh,
So cute.
So this is my plan for my mama. She doesn't really, like, she makes requests, but she also doesn't make requests because she's like, I see how long it takes you to make things, and I'm not going to push you, Megan, my sister, to make me things when I recognize that you have lots of things that you already want to make. Mm-hmm. So when she sent me this photo, I was like, yeah, Mom, we're doing it. Why is it frozen? Whatever.
Can I ask you what the media she was watching was? Like, was it a movie? What movie was it?
That's an excellent question.
Okay.
I wonder if it'll pop up when I scroll. It was a long time ago that she asked me, and by a long time I mean like 2 or 3 months. So I wonder if it'll show up in my if I scroll far enough back in our chat.
Allie, is this cone a rescue?
This cone is a rescue.
It is.
Ooh.
It is a James
We went to go
cone
get
yarn.
it together.
Oh my
And
god.
I pinched it.
Oh, I love it. It's such a good color for your mom.
Yep.
And it's more than enough for the amount of yarn that you're going to need.
Yep.
And it's so soft.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's
Yeah,
really great.
That one was definitely one of the good ones.
She loves purple. My mom, it's her favorite color is purple, and so when she made the request for the shirt, I was like, cool. Like, what color are you thinking of? What are you thinking about? And she came over and she took a look at my stash and was like, oh yeah, this is nice, that's nice. And I showed her this cone and she goes, oh, it's my color. And I'm like, I know it's your color, Mom. I know it is. Here we go. She was watching TLC.
She was watching TLC. Okay, okay. I see it.
This is what she sent me, this photo right here. You know, so it's not quite the same, but
it is a short sleeve shirt with a textured
So
cuff
this
and
one
collar.
has like, it looks almost like a corrugated, maybe an I-cord and then a ribbing. for the collar and the sleeves, but that would be so easy to add on.
Oh, yeah.
So I might just do that, where I knit the whole thing, and then afterwards, if I have yarn left over, just add in an I-cord around, like it's an I-cord bind off.
And now that I'm looking at the picture more closely, it looks to me not like a corrugated, but a half-twisted rib.
Oh, yeah.
And even if it's not exactly a half-twisted rib, no, my feet are on the internet.
Oh,
no feet for free. Now that I'm looking at it, you could totally get that extra texture ribbing look with a half-twisted rib.
Yeah, so maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just substitute that half-twisted rib for the hem and the collars and whatever. And yeah, I love Aimee Sher. I've purchased a couple of her patterns. I haven't made them yet, but I've purchased a couple of her patterns, they're so well written.
You made an Aimee Sher pattern, right? Your
Which
tee,
one?
the oolong tee.
Yes, it's freaking fabulous. I really, really enjoyed working on this. Same thing. Like there's something about working on lace that makes me just happy. Yeah. And it was with the silk yak base of
beautiful
alley cat yarn. So again, like super soft to work with. And it was it ended up being a really nice little vest that I can put on top of.
It looks gorgeous on you.
So
I saw a video on YouTube by Aimee Sher where she was explaining sort of her approach to size inclusivity.
It's amazing.
It's such a good video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But I found it really refreshing that she would have such level of transparency on her design process and the choices that she's making. She's given us the reasoning behind why she's making those choices. So I found it really helpful, and it also kind of encouraged me to purchase more patterns from her, because now I'm really happy supporting her, not only her products, but also her process.
I would also like to add, if you're on the fence about purchasing an Aimee Sher pattern, not only is she incredibly size inclusive in her designs, but she also creates low vision and screen reader friendly patterns. And on top of that, she also makes sure that every pattern she releases, there are photos of a person wearing it, typically her, wearing it while seated, so that people in wheelchairs or who regularly use mobility aids will know what it looks like on their body when they're sitting down. So I think that is an incredibly beautiful thing that more designers should be doing. And it's something that we don't think about as people who don't use wheelchairs or mobility aids.
I just want to say, like, this is the recipe. If you're someone who designs, this is how you get my loyalty for life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the second I notice that you're not just designing for the sake of designing, but you're also designing with the intent of, or with your readership in mind, where you think about other people and not just people who look like you or people you think you want to cater to, but anybody. And look, you have the right to have your preferences and who you want to cater to. That's all up to you. But I can tell you that for me, I would prefer, that's the kind of designer I would gravitate towards, is someone who doesn't just think of like that little pool of people. They're going to think more broadly of like, hey, I may not be one of those people, like somebody who has accessibility issues, but to know that a designer is actually thinking about them, that makes me more loyal to them, because it means they're thinking outside of their, you know, like their own little zone or body
realm
or
of experience.
Yeah,
because there's so many patterns out there that look similar to each other simply because that's what's trending, like that's what's in style right now. There's nothing wrong with that. But if I had two patterns in front of me that looked a lot similar, I would then look at the designer's ethics to choose which one to buy. Yeah. Personally.
Yeah. And look, like, it's, if you don't do that, that's fine. But I think there are a lot of people who do that. A lot of people who, and even if they don't necessarily subconsciously, or sorry, not subconsciously, intentionally do that, they subconsciously may gravitate more towards someone who is more size inclusive, or who, like, you know, like, who is a more honest and transparent about their process. So yeah, definitely.
Great designer. Go follow her.
Amazing. And a great shop too. She's got a shop as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do round two?
Round two.
All right.
Round two, Electric Boogaloo.
So round two for me is oh god, I have to pick it up on my phone because I forgot it's the no.
Oh, okay, it's different from the last one she was working on last time we were here.
because I wanted
so curious.
to be well, I think you've seen it.
Have I though? I've probably forgotten.
It's the Jesus Christ, the pressed flowers.
Yes, I have seen it.
Oh my god,
it's the Pressed Flowers Cowl by Amy Christoffers.
There we go. So Pressed Flowers, she said it, but Savory Knitting Pressed Flowers Cowl. And it's still very much in its infancy, but this is what the...
Oh my god, it's so cute!
This is the color that we're going for, the color palette that we're going for. So we have one...
That's adorable!
One purple. You can tell I have a type. One purple and one that's more like I think this one is called Orchid, the color.
I
Orchidee.
love
Yeah.
it.
So, and of course, this is from Ma Laine Maison, which is the best freaking baby alpaca yarn you've ever, I want to say tasted, but like touched. It's
Felt?
I'm obsessed with
Experienced?
it. Like, touch this. It's like...
It is the softest thing. Just on my fingers, it's incredibly soft.
I want to be buried in this. Like, in I want to be buried in like all the yarn that they have.
Flashing Rav again. It's getting blown out.
So beautiful.
So I haven't gotten to the part where you actually start knitting the pressed flowers.
Yeah.
So this is just the
base.
the base, and then eventually you get to...
Here we go.
I do like think that it's a little smaller than I wanted, but it does grow a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's gonna be just fine.
The alpaca will bloom.
Yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen. But yeah, I'm very much loving it so far. It's so nice to work with because it glides so well. And like I've noticed also, like baby alpaca, I think one of the reasons I like it is because it also glides really, really well on the needles compared to like merino, I find.
So you can go fast.
Yeah. So yeah, but this is what I'm this is my other
beautiful.
I love it.
As for my plans, I'm kind of on the fence between two actually I say this, I was on the fence, never mind. I made a decision because I realized after being on the fence for weeks,
I'm ready to look it up.
between two projects, that one of them was not fingering, so I couldn't use that one. So I was like, oh, it's this one. And then, yeah.
Can I just make a tiny aside? There's somebody in our knit group who says fingerling instead of fingering every time she talks about that yarn weight, and it is like, it makes my heart flutter because it's so cute.
It is adorable.
It also makes me think of potatoes, but anyway, sorry.
Fingerling is a potato. To be fair, it is correct.
Fingerling is
There is a
correct,
part
yeah.
of the world where this yarn is also referred to as fingerling.
Yeah.
But because we're in North America and we all say finger ring, it's
really
so cute.
But anyway, what are your two patterns that you're
So,
thinking about?
no, I keep going in the wrong direction. Sorry, the wrong...
What's
cue.
it called?
There we go. So the first one is the Sunday... No, that's the wrong one. But the Fleur Tee...
By Brianna Mason.
Brianna Mason is the one I want to make, and I'm going to make it with yarn, my yarn that's 100% silk.
Oh.
I love it.
I feel like this...
I
that's not a
apologize,
good
guys, for
picture.
help. Hold
Yeah.
on.
I feel
We're
like...
going to put the links underneath. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
and I'll do my best to find not Ravelry ones as well.
I feel like this in silk, in 100% silk, is going to drape really, really well.
That's gorgeous.
So,
Do you have silk?
yeah, she does. She got some at Knit City. 4 skeins.
yeah.
They're 2 different colors, right?
So that's the thing. They're two
Yeah.
different colors. So, and this technically I think is going to be enough with only 2 skeins. I'm
Okay.
still on the fence about that. Worst comes to worst, I'll find something else. But, that's the one I really wanted because there's another one that I was thinking about. Like I said, it's DK.
Long sleeve.
Oh, that is lovely.
It's really, really nice. It's very like it looks like mini flowers in it.
Yeah,
like, it looks really cute.
It lives up to its name for sure.
Yeah, this is kind of a theme, right? Pressed flowers, and then this one.
Florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking.
What was the other pattern that you wanted? You were thinking about?
That one was because it's DK. I
You're
can
not
still
gonna
do it.
Yeah.
but
Okay.
It'll be
You guys got an extra pattern, even if she's not making it yet.
yeah. So this one is the cute. There we go. All the way down. The Sunday Swirl Tank by Jessie May.
Yes.
I just saw that
Designs.
one and I fell fully in love.
And
I saw it and thought, I need to make that for my sister.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, DK, it's not like I can't do DK, even because I have so much DK in my stash. It's probably the yarn I have the most of. It's just that I wanted to do the silk with this, but I feel like, who cares? I can find something like maybe knitting for Olive.
You can find more silk in a different weight, I'm sure.
That's true.
Knitting for Olive pure silk.
Yeah.
That would be really nice.
And this pattern was designed and knit in Ritual Dyes Undine, which is a cotton linen blend.
Okay.
So, but let me show you this extra pattern.
It is delicious.
Definitely want to make this. Not
Me
for my
too. Should we have a little make along?
I mean, I'm never going to say no.
Because I have some knitting for Olive silk
Look at
that
this.
I want to make.
Oh. This is so gorgeous.
I do want to make one for my sister as well, so I might just make two.
I also have some cotton linen that would be really nice.
I love how all of this, the point of this was to be like, we have plans, and we're going so off the rails with our plans already, and we haven't even cast
Seriously.
anything
But
on.
that's the point of plans. They change. They change.
They do.
I only make plans so I can deviate from them.
Exactement.
It's a good rule,
Oh,
actually.
thank you.
Exactement.
It's a good rule.
That's a great plan. I think either of those would be excellent options, but I am partial to the Sunday because I also want to make it.
I mean, look, they're all going to be made. The thing is, what's going to win over right now is which yarn I want to squeeze the most.
And you have the silk already in your stash ready to go versus having to go out and find a DK weight.
No, I have DK for days in my stash.
Oh,
That's
but
fine.
like in a summer yarn though, like in a plant yarn?
Well, I have the Cascade, the same one she has.
Cotlino.
do it in that.
Cotlino.
Could do that.
Because I have so much. I have
Yeah.
like
Plans.
I think I have like 5 skeins of that.
Of the Cotlin, that would be more than
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically a vest. You probably don't need that much
And
yardage.
it's
Exactly.
DK. It's
DK
DK,
weight.
weight. Well, I guess we have a winner. But I mean, I say this, but like I said, the silk may win, so I might actually start
Let's be
with that
real.
one
You're going to
first.
cast on both of them within the same weekend. Then you're just going to pick one to hyperfixate on until
Yeah.
you're 3/4 of the way through, and then you're going to switch to the other one.
Pretty much.
You know? Yeah.
But that's what happens. I don't hyperfixate until I get to the end. Like, this is what's happening with this one.
Yeah.
Is like, I can't work on anything else right now because I'm
You're so close to the end.
so close to the end.
I am a little jealous of that because when I hyperfixate on a project, it's always at the beginning. And then I get halfway through and then I'm like, yes, but I'm a little bit bored. Granted, I don't hyperfixate on projects all that often, but when I do, it's always at the
Me,
beginning.
it's always at the end because it's like you see the finish line, right? It's like
That's
when
nice.
I run, it's the same thing. When I run, it's like I'm dead inside, and then I see the finish line, I'm like I still got something, and then I run like an idiot. It's the same thing. Like when I did the half marathon, did I tell you that?
Yeah,
like,
you did.
It was bad. It was so bad, and then you see the finish line, you're like, you got this, and like
just one more
everybody,
column, one more
exactly. One more row, you got this. Then you get to the finish line, you finish it, and you're like, okay, I'm dead now. I mean, I'm not dead after I knit, but you know.
That is not my experience at all. But I really appreciate that. I'm
right.
gonna get up and get my other
okay.
project. But why don't you go first?
Okay, yeah, sure. My other whip, which is a, I don't want to say it's in timeout. It's not. I just haven't. I need to wind the yarn for my other whip, and I just haven't. So I've pulled this out on the pot, although it's been a hot minute since I've shown it. This is, oops. Oh, I lost some needles. This is the Doppio sweater by Suenghee Knits. This is actually a pretty accurate representation of the color, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So it's coming out so eucalyptus-y, and I am making my sister and I don't want to, like, matching sweaters, but not matching sweaters. I'm making her a light version, and then I'm going to make myself a dark version, and I'm so excited about this. And part of me is like, oh, hold on, and don't give them to her until Christmas, and the other part of me is like, I don't know if I can hold out that long. So I'm using 3 skeins of yarn. It's 2 skeins of, like, wool, and then 1 skein of fuzz. But it works up to a worsted weight. So really you could do like a DK and a fuzz, or you could do just a single strand of worsted. Like, there's lots of ways to do it. So I have Sandnes garn in their color, I think it's like fern or fern leaf. And then I have Explorer Knits and Fibers in the Fatna Yokel colorway. And then I have Full Moon Fibers in their willow color. and that's the fuzz. So I'm loving it. I really do need to wind these up though. I've been putting that off. Because this is what's left of the fuzz, and I've already finished the first skein of the Vatna yokel. So I really need to work these up so that I can get them going.
You said wind it up, and I started singing, wind up, yeah, wind up.
Oh, that's a good one.
Up, yeah. Anyway, I'm loving the Doppio.
Yeah, I really need to wind these up because I'm like itching to finish this one so that I can cast on mine. Because I think it would be so cute.
And is that the only thing that's stopping you, is that you don't have it all balled up?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Although, ironically enough, one of my friends came over yesterday to use my skein winder, and I should have just been like, oh, do you want to sit here and chat while I wind up these two? And I didn't. Sorry, Alex. That would have been really fun. But I didn't, and I really should have done that. But I did learn, while doing that yesterday, that I can set up my skein winder outside on my patio table. So if you guys ever want to have, on a nice day, a little patio brewski, do a little winding party.
Yeah, I could
A
be down
wine
for
and
that.
wind?
A wine and wind.
Let's do it. That'd be so cute. Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure I'm a genius.
Like,
When
patent
it
that.
comes to
Not patent
naming
that.
things, yes,
Yes,
100%.
oh my God.
Chilbert can attest to that.
Yeah, you did. You came up with Chilbert.
She did.
Carine got a toy sloth, and I proposed that she named him Chilbert.
Mm-hmm.
And Chilbert is on my
Your crossbody bag?
crossbody back, and he goes with me everywhere. So everybody's like, I love your sloth. And every single time I'm like, this is Chilbert. And they're all like, that's amazing. I'm like, I can't take credit for the name.
Yeah. The number of times we're out and about and I see children just staring at Chilbert longingly, I'm like, that's right. That's
Call me
right.
if you're having trouble naming something.
She's really good at it. Yeah. My second plan. So I have to... I'm not entirely certain what's in this bag. Like, I know, but I don't know.
Okay, I'm loving a surprise.
Okay.
So last year, I had lost all my knitting mojo for like a couple of months. I was really having a struggle bus trying to finish things. And so I was like, look, in order to help with my decision fatigue, I'm just going to pre-prep a whole bunch of bags. Mm-hmm. I had patterns that I already knew I wanted to make for them. So I printed off a copy of the pattern if I had already purchased it. If I didn't, I put the name on a sticky note, put it in the bag with the yarn, and I prepped it so that, like, I don't have the needles yet because, I don't have infinity needles, but I put the yarn and the pattern together in a bag so if I was ever having decision paralysis, I could just... There was like 20... I have like 23 projects, like, prepped in that way. So many project bags. I just did it until I ran out of project bags. So I know this has a scarfolet in it, but I can't remember which one.
What is a scarfolet?
Like a small scarf. Oh, I remember which one. So this is the Turtle Dove Scarf by Sari Nordlund.
Oh.
Right?
That's
I remember
really
what color
That's
it
like
is.
beautiful.
Right? So I'm a big fan of, instead of having like a big drapey scarf that lets a lot of air in, I like tight to the neck, wrapped up. So I like these smaller kind of scarflets that I can just like tie around and then they're nice and tucked in close. So this yarn is...
Damn.
Oh, that's scrumptious.
Right? I think this is alpaca. I think.
It sure
It
is.
sure is. That feels like alpaca.
So in April of last year, I went out to Vancouver to visit my sister and her partner, and we went to Granville Island.
No.
And...
It's merino and silk.
Oh, that's going to be really nice as a
That's
scarf.
so nice.
But yes, last year I went out to Granville Island to visit, or to Vancouver to visit my sister and her partner. We went to Granville Island. Yoriko Oki is a local dyer who has a shop on Granville. And every time I go to Granville, I stop in and I buy something because duh. And so I saw this single, like sitting by itself, no match, just completely by itself. And I was like, you're mine now. And Sean, my sister's partner, was like, what are you going to make with that? And I was like, I don't know, Sean. Get off my butt.
What's ramie?
Ramie.
Is a
Ramie?
type, that's not a type of sheep.
No,
That's
ramie
a
is
type
a
of-
cellulose
Yeah.
fiber.
Oh, I didn't know. That's the first time I see that. So
Yeah.
20% ramie, 20% silk, 60% wool.
I think it's produced similarly to tencel.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
So I knew I wanted to make a scarf with this. And then I went looking. And then Wabi Sabi, our local yarn shop, had this last year. Pascuali.
I'd never seen that brand before, and I am very intrigued.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. This 4-threaded yarn excels in its wearing properties. Its composition of merino, ramie, and silk provide our craft with a slight shine, does not itch, and fits wonderfully light on the skin.
Very nice.
So,
excellent for a scarf.
Yeah, so I bought this to match this. They're purple. It's looking gray, but they're purple. I bought this to match this. Knew I wanted to make a scarf. Sari Nordlund came out with the turtle dove last year, and I was like, done. So
Gotta do it.
if I get my shit in gear, this will be ready to go for the fall.
If I know anything about you, Allie, is that you're gonna be making a little scarf.
I freaking love a little scarf. I feel like every winter I make myself a little scarf. And
A
I'm
little
like,
scarf.
"Woo-hoo-hoo."
You know how there's people that are part of the Little Treat Club?
Yes.
I'm part of the Little Treat Club.
Yes.
Do anything remotely positive, reward myself with a little treat. Allie is, I believe you're starting the club of the little scarf.
Yes, yeah.
Like, at the slightest provocation, she gonna cast on a little scarf.
Like, they're like some of my comfort projects because they're small enough that they're portable so I can take them on public transit when I'm going to and from work. But they're also like cerebral enough that I have to think because there's shaping involved, or in this case there's baubles and cables involved, and it's like such a good middle ground of like, I want a complex project but I just don't have the energy to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's small, so I can set myself milestones like, I just need to get to the end of the decreases and then I can like put it aside for a couple of days.
Yeah.
They're just so fun, and then they also make really good gifts too. Like, I love making little scarfies.
And the most important part for me is that they're fun to make.
Yes, agreed.
Let's begin the little scarf club.
I think so.
I think we should officially establish it.
So what about you?
So what about you? I had to go get the compliment for this. I have had this yarn, this lavender. It's coming off pink, but it's more of a lavender mix of merino bamboo for literal years now. It was around the time when there was an independent dyer here in Ottawa that was going under the brand name The Pine Cone Project.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And I wanted to support them, and they were the... this was one of the things that caught my eye immediately because I had never touched the combination of merino with bamboo. And I am definitely not disappointed. But this yarn has been so precious to me that I just didn't want to cast it on for anything. I have 2 skeins of this. It's a 450...
yards?
No, yes. 450 yards.
Nice.
Per skein. So I have a total of about 900. And since I got it, I'd been waiting for the perfect project to use it for. And I think... about a year after I was holding onto these yarn, I decided to cast it on with the Diaphanous Raglan by Jessie May.
Yes.
Ooh.
And then my second problem arose, which was I need a mohair. I need a mohair to pair it with this, and I just couldn't find one that I liked enough to go with this. And then I also have worked with mohair before, and I found it a bit scratchy on my neck and on my arms. And because the Diaphanous Raglan literally has all mohair sleeves, this is a blouse. Like I said, I'm focusing on blouses. Look at that beauty.
That's glorious.
It is so glorious. I just didn't buy mohair for a really long time. And then I found Zoe from Wollerton Estates. And Zoe said, hold my beard.
Zoe knows what they're doing.
Oh my God.
They are incredible when it comes to dyeing yarn.
And I don't know if you have had the privilege of squeezing one of Wollerton Estates' skeins of yarn, but holy meatballs, it is so supple and soft. So I got myself a little treat me packet of Surrey alpaca, hand-dyed in pastel colors. So I've got 2 of these, and I've got 2 of the lavender purple, and I haven't decided if I want to do these 2 together or this one and the darker lavender. I will choose when my heart sings to it.
So you have two dark lavender in the Wollerton and 2 pale pink in the Wollerton, same base.
Correct, same base. And it's really not going to be a waste if I choose one or the
Yeah.
other, because I still will have enough for another sweater project
Yeah.
if I choose to. But the important part is that this Suri alpaca is nowhere near as scratchy on my skin
Yep.
as mohair silk is. I don't know what it is about Suri alpaca. It is also incredibly difficult to work with because it's sticky
quite
AF.
sticky.
Yeah, so I have skeins of this for the project that I want to do, the other baby alpaca, and it's exactly the same. And it's
It is sticky.
Can I ask, are you planning to do the long sleeve or the short sleeve? You probably said it, but I was looking at the pattern.
I didn't say it, but that's a good reason. I had not decided.
Okay, so in that case, let me show you what the short sleeve looks like. It's got these cute little flutter sleeves.
Goodness. So cute.
Right? You want to know something funny?
Yeah.
I have a diaphanous raglan that I've cast on, and I've worked down to here, and I haven't picked it up in like 6 months.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Okay. There's a reason for it, though, because I had to do math. I have to do
that's
math.
where you lose me.
Yeah, no, I just, my row gauge is way off. So I've gotten to the part where I'm like in the pattern ready to split, join underneath and knit in the round, except it's not deep enough. So now I have to do some math and some intarsia. But that's my fault. That's not the pattern. That's me. My row gauge is so small. The stitches are supposed to be like this, and my stitches are like this. So that's on me. But I just need to sit down. It's going to take me 10 minutes, I'm sure. Just got to do some math. But do it. It is such a well-written pattern. It's so easy.
I'm so in love with it.
And the way you start is you do like the front half, because it's a V-neck, right?
Yeah.
So you do this side, and then you do this side, and then you join in the round and split for the sleeves at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's really nice. It's really nice. Dang it, now my whips are going to get in favor of another whip that's been sitting for so long.
I think this was the purpose of today.
It's,
Rearranging the whips and the plans.
Yeah.
I agree.
No,
You
it's
thought
great.
you had.
It's great.
Wish me luck, friends and foes, when I start my diaphanous raglan, because I'm just going to be making decisions as my heart desires. But I wanted to showcase it today because it's a reminder not just to myself, but also accountability to you. That I've said I wanted to make this diaphanous blouse for years. I have the yarn for it. I just have not cast it on.
Yeah.
And I know the moment that I do, it's gonna fly off my needles. I just haven't found enough executive function to actually do it.
Watching the shoulder cap grow, because you have like the wool and the fuzz, then just the fuzz and the wool and the fuzz in the back.
Yeah.
Watching it grow is like so serotonin boosting. I think I did like the first shoulder cap in like one evening, because I just was like, I'm not moving from this couch, and just like sat until I did the whole shoulder cap, and I was like, hey. You know, it's really nice. It's really nice.
That is so cute. And here is the last whip of the day, which, thank God, because we've been talking for an hour.
And you were working on something completely unrelated to both of the
I'm
whips.
still working on my Velocore. Y'all know about this. I'm so close to the finish line. I just lost some stitches. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Doesn't look like it.
But you've seen it, so it's not news. It's just one of those things that's given me grief that I just haven't. I'm making such slow progress on it that I just don't want to talk about it anymore.
Progress.
But I am making progress, and that's what matters.
It's one stitch at a time.
I wanted to showcase for my whip of the day, once again, the Bad Batch socks by Marie-Elise Dugal. And I talked briefly about this on the pod. Again, this is an invitation for everyone who wants to join Marie-Elise's Great Canadian Make-Along, where you make one of her patterns and tag Canadian makers or designers.
And you use Canadian wool, or at least Canadian dyed wool.
Canadian wool. So yeah, if you have access to Canadian wool, I highly recommend joining. It's super fun. It's very low stakes. But I wanted to showcase this because I am having so much fun with the stitch pattern in the middle.
That's really cute.
I had never done this stitch pattern before. It's called the rank and file, and I'm gonna get closer so you can see it.
This knit along goes till July 1st.
Look at it.
That's really pretty.
It's really pretty.
I just find it so interesting. I had never done rank and file before, and it's honestly, it's very challenging.
Is it?
It's really challenging. You have to slip 2, put the yarn in the front, slip them back, and then purl each one at a time. So the yarn is in an awkward position, but it makes it so that the first of those 2 that you slipped kind of like takes its place like a little soldier, and it makes this elongated pop of a stitch that you then slip on the next few rows. So it's making a beautiful texture. I did not expect this to be so challenging.
That's why you do the wrap, so you give extra length so that you can slip it and elongate it.
Yeah.
Genius.
It is genius. And I know that this is not the, it's a modified rank and file stitch. Never heard of it before. Loving it. Super challenging. Not super challenging, but like enjoyably challenging, so that it's keeping me engaged the whole time. So it's fun to make, but it's also like the rest of it is just stockinette. So it's super easy for half of the row, and then fun for the other half. So it's kind of potato chippy that way, right? Because you get to the hard part and they're like, yay, I did it. And then you zoom through the stockinette. Excuse me. So this is my whip. I'm loving it. I took a picture and uploaded it to Instagram so that I could enter the Great Canadian Knit Along. And yeah, you're invited if you want to join. It goes until July 1st, like Ali said.
Yeah. And if you ever want to try a like super patterned sock like this, but you're unsure of if you want to do the whole sock, just do like the top of the foot, or just do like the front of your ankle. You know, like you don't have to do the whole all the way down to the toe. You can do just a little bit of it to try it, and then do the rest in stockinette. But this looks like so much fun. I really have been meaning to make them. My sock knitting game has been non-existent lately because of this. So
I really now understand why she called these socks the Bad Batch. Because the Bad Batch series, if you've seen it, is about faulty or defective stormtroopers that just like refused to follow their ranks, and anyway, they were called the Bad Batch because they're the clones that didn't turn out well. And so the fact that we are working on a very orderly kind of military texture right here is really reminiscent of stormtroopers, and I really appreciate the naming of this pattern as much as the pattern itself.
For those of you who don't know, Marie-Elise has patterns that she's released on the last 4 years on May the 4th for Star Wars Day. And these were, I can't remember if
the first ones.
The first ones, yeah.
There we go!
Woo! The beavers.
The beavers. Yeah, because it's Canadian.
That's too good.
The yarn is Canadian, the pattern's Canadian, the bag's Canadian.
From Doorstopper.
I'm Canadian.
I was gonna say the girls Canadian.
What's left? Like
there's nothing more. That's it.
That's it.
And I think that brings us to the end of our pod.
Yeah, that was a good. Will we stick to these knitting patterns? Let us know in the comments if you think that we're going to stick with these plans.
Probably.
I hope so.
I mean, I think they're going to happen, just not in the
order that we
order and the time frame we expect.
There's like a 50-50 chance that I'm going to forget I said all of this and then cast on something else.
You have it all on film.
I know.
Oh my god.
We're still going to forget.
Dude, you know, it'd be so funny. We should sit here right now and set ourselves calendar alerts for like 4 months from now, being like, did you cast that thing on yet?
Oh my god, that's so true. I really do respond well to calendar reminders.
And then that way we can be like,
guilty.
oh yeah, I forgot that was the thing I wanted to do, and then boom.
But also I'm kind of liking the accountability of these like whip and plan kind of episode. I know we did whip parade not too long ago.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do you want to see more of what we're making and planning to make? I know that's more of a traditional vlog, kind of knitting vlog strategy that we weren't originally planning on diving into. But if you're interested in what we're thinking about what we're making, we'd love to continue to share maybe on a quarterly basis, every couple months or so. So we can definitely give you a bit more of a rundown of our whips, other than our dorks.
Those are fun.
So to close us out, thank you so much again I'm Anahí, this is Allie, and this is Carine, and we're the Purls of the Purl Perspectives podcast, coming to you from Canada. We love that you're here with us, and we wish to see you again. So leave us your comments, let us know what you're making and planning to make, and be our accountability buddies, because don't let us forget we said we would do this.
Message us incessantly.
Exactly.
We need it.
Yeah. Maybe do the thing that YouTubers ask you to do, like subscribe, hit the bell and stuff. We go live every other Sunday, and
mostly
just kind of shoot the shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you'd like to be a part of that, we'd love to see you live. 2 weeks from now. Bye.
Bye.